Hi folks, Bob Collins for Diver Supply. In this video, as a matter of fact, I was getting ready to do the video about Scuba Pro's ABCs and marks as far as their regulators go. And just the other day, a buddy of mine brought in an old regulator from the early 60s. And I thought some of you might enjoy seeing the differences between 1961 and 2001, and a little bit about their similarities and some about their differences. So I'm going to try to keep this short, but we're going to look at the Mark 25 A700 against the Davidson Corporation, better known as DACOR's D1 Dart. Now, in the early 60s, the main regulators that were being utilized out there, of course, were double hose regulators. And there was pretty much 5 different manufacturers that were out there making regulators. And they were manufactured, some in the Asian area. Some of the parts were made in Europe, mainly Italy, and of course here in the United States. And there was a company actually begun in 1954 called the Davidson Corporation. And the Davidson Corporation was up in Evanston, Illinois. And they started making regulators, and mainly, like I said, the double hose. And I believe one of them was called the Clipper, and the other one was called Dial a Breath, but they were beautiful double hose regulators. Shortly after that, they came out with a single hose regulator, better known as the D1 or the Dart. And I've got one here to show you. And I'm going to be doing some close-ups of this unit, and it's quite interesting. And what I've actually got it set up with an old Aqualung 2-gauge console here. But it's quite an interesting looking regulator in that the first stage is a diaphragm regulator. And one of the things that's interesting about it is this is machined out of one piece of bar stock. And it is also intermediate pressure adjustable. Now it's not balanced. The second stage is balanced, but the first stage is not balanced. But it's got some adjustment here so that the intermediate pressure can be adjusted. And it's got, like we said, it's got a low pressure hose connection, it's got a high pressure. And in 1968, I believe it was, they came out with a version of this called the D2, and the D2 had 2 different versions, and the D2 was able to utilize surface supplied air, and the D2R actually had a 300 PSI reserve on it in case your tank wasn't a J-style tank. And if you don't know what I mean about J-style tanks, just Google it. But it's quite a nice piece. One of the things that's so unusual about this is the second stage is pretty nifty in that it's all metal construction except for the exhaust tee. And they said the reason they made this exhaust tee so wide was, again, to get the bubbles away from your face. And if you look, the actual purge spring and purge button is located on the outside of the front cover. And the front cover is held on by 4 screws. One of the other things about it, it's got a nice big removable mouthpiece. And I'll get a close-up here. It also has some snaps here so that you could put a leash around your neck, snap it onto here in case it came out. You could just easily put it back in. but pretty spiffy. And then of course, when we look at our unit today from Scuba Pro, the A700, it's fully adjustable, it's all metal. And of course, we all know that a lot of the regulators, second stages today, have gone into composites of different types, fiberglass and other types of nylon and other materials. But it's quite interesting to see the forerunners from, just think that 60 years ago, I was 10, and that the beauty of the first stages has continued to move forward. Now I'm going to talk about the Scuba Pro regulators more in the next video. I just thought you might enjoy getting a quick look at this old DACOR dart. And again, I really appreciate you guys watching. Thanks for your comments, some really good comments about the black ice. And like we always say here at the Diver Supply Channel, dive safe out there. And again, thanks for watching. See you again soon.